She vanished overnight. Her children too. And the man begging for answers? He already knew the truth. In the tranquil suburbs of Frederick, Colorado, nestled among identical homes and perfectly trimmed lawns, a horrific crime unraveled that shattered the illusion of peace. It wasn't a stranger in the night, or a crime of passion, it was a calculated annihilation of a family by someone they loved most. This is the story of the Watts family murders. A tale of obsession, deception, and cold-blooded betrayal that captivated, and haunted, the world. Chris and Shannon Watts seemed like the embodiment of the American dream. She was vibrant and outspoken, a health product promoter for Thrive, and he was soft-spoken, a technician at Anadarko Petroleum. They lived in a spacious 5-bedroom home, raised 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, and were expecting a 3rd child, a boy to be named Nico. Their social media painted a portrait of joy. Shannon posted frequently, family photos, motivational quotes, and proud moments with her children. But what wasn't visible was the looming tension beneath the surface. The couple was facing financial strain, declaring bankruptcy in 2015, and their relationship was deteriorating. Chris became withdrawn, emotionally absent. Shannon, sensing the distance, expressed concern in texts to friends and family. She confided that Chris wasn't acting like himself and feared he'd fallen out of love. Still, she tried to hold the marriage together, believing the arrival of their 3rd child might reignite their bond. But Chris had made other plans. Nicole Kessinger entered the picture in early June 2018. A geologist at Anadarko, she met Chris at work. He told her he was separated. Their relationship escalated rapidly, going to museums, restaurants, and spending nights together. Chris told Nicole he was finalizing a divorce. He cleared his phone of family photos and began a disturbing double life. He wrote love letters, sent racy messages, and Googled wedding songs for their future together. Meanwhile, Shannon was preparing for a trip to North Carolina to visit family. During her 5-week stay, Shannon noticed Chris was distant, even cruel. He avoided calls, refused intimacy, and barely responded to texts. Her emotional pleas, documented on her phone, painted a picture of heartbreak. Still, she returned home on August 13, hoping to confront him and seek resolution. What she didn't know was that Chris had already decided to erase his past. At 1:48 a.m., Shannon returned home from a business trip, dropped off by her friend Nicole Atkinson. By mid-morning, Nicole noticed something strange. Shannon missed a doctor's appointment, wasn't answering texts, and her car was still in the garage. She contacted police. A welfare check was done. Chris, oddly calm and detached, granted entry. Shannon's purse, phone, and keys were untouched. Her shoes sat by the door. Her wedding ring was found upstairs. But Shannon and the girls were gone. Chris gave interviews to local news, pleading for their return. He fumbled through emotional displays, giving contradictory accounts. Investigators grew suspicious. Surveillance footage from a neighbor's camera showed Chris backing his truck into the garage early that morning, a move he never made. A detective would later say his body language screamed guilt. Soon, the facade crumbled. Chris agreed to take a polygraph test, and failed. Faced with mounting pressure, he confessed. But not the full truth. Initially, he claimed Shannon killed the children, and he killed her in a fit of rage. But the evidence didn't align. He was arrested on August 15. Over the following days, the horrifying reality emerged. Chris had strangled Shannon in their bedroom. He then transported her body in the truck, while his daughters were still alive. Bella asked, "Is Mommy okay?" Celeste clutched a pink blanket. Chris drove them to an oil field, his workplace. There, He smothered both girls one by one and shoved their bodies into crude oil tanks, just 8 inches wide. Shannon was buried in a shallow grave nearby. Autopsies confirmed strangulation and smothering. No signs of defensive wounds. Just silence. What pushes a father to murder his entire family? Experts debated endlessly. Chris later claimed he felt trapped, that ending their lives was easier than facing the consequences of divorce. He wanted to start over with Nicole, unburdened. In letters from prison, he admitted trying to make Shannon miscarry by giving her oxycodone. Nicole, devastated, denied knowing Shannon was pregnant. She cooperated fully with investigators, searched online for info about mistresses and Amber Frey, and eventually went into hiding. Chris showed no remorse. In court, he barely looked up. He waived trial and pled guilty to avoid the death penalty. On November 19, 2018, he was sentenced to 5 life terms, 3 consecutively, without the possibility of parole. He now resides in Dodge Correctional Institution in Wisconsin, writing religious reflections and corresponding with curious strangers. The case ignited a media storm. Netflix released American Murder, The Family Next Door, stitching together real footage and messages to form a harrowing timeline. Viewers saw Shannon's upbeat videos juxtaposed against Chris's monstrous acts. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and documentaries dissected every detail. Some explored psychological motives. Others sensationalized. Shannon's family, particularly her father Frank Rtsusek, pleaded for privacy and respect. Online, conspiracy theories bloomed, some falsely accusing Nicole of involvement. Others suggested demonic possession or CIA mind control. But the facts remained: a man killed his family to escape accountability. In many ways, Chris became a new archetype of evil, an unassuming suburban dad turned silent predator. The Watts murders exposed the fragility of appearances. A family that looked flawless online masked emotional decay and desperation. It revealed how social media can distort reality, how obsession warps morality, and how silence hides violence. The oil tanks where the girls were hidden were dismantled. Memorials were held in Shannon's honor. Her unborn son, Nico, was laid to rest beside her. Bella and Celeste's drawings and toys were buried with them. Today, their story remains a dark mirror, a reminder that evil doesn't always look monstrous. Sometimes it wears a polo shirt, smiles for the camera, fakes tears, then drives away with 3 bodies. The Watts family murders aren't just a cautionary tale, they're a wake-up call. About control, manipulation, and the cost of hiding behind masks. If you found this story haunting, disturbing, or necessary, share it. Let the truth be louder than fiction. And remember, not every monster lurks in shadow. Sometimes, they sleep beside us. The truth is dark. The silence, darker. If this story gripped you, unsettled you, or made you think twice, don't let it fade into the algorithm. Like the video. Leave a comment with your thoughts or theories. And subscribe to Beneath the Narrative, where forgotten truths find the light.